Good morning. You are knowing what you are wanting. It is an evolving thing, yes. Are you enjoying the sensation of the expansion of your own desire? And is it all right with you if your desire expands slightly faster than your ability to allow? Say yes. That's an important thing to understand. That we all, but especially you, well, all of us, but especially you. Well, all of us, but we understand it and we want you to understand. So we say, especially you, it is of value for you to accept that you will be eternally incomplete. And you have to understand that those words go very well together, because the only way that you can be eternal is if you are incomplete. You must be able to continue to expand, and it is our promise to you that everything in this universe is in the constant eternal state of expansion, which means if you understand the way the process works, the contrast or variety that you are living is inspiring your new preference or desire. And that new desire is what summons the source and carries what is now into the future experience. But the thing that's tricky about the future experience is that the future never gets here, because the moment that it approaches, it becomes now. Tomorrow never comes, because when it gets here, it's today. We call this gathering the art of allowing. The art of allowing your alignment with who you really are and what you really know. We'd like to tell you what you know. What you knew before you came forth into this body, and what that non-physical stream, source, inner being part of you still knows. You are magnificent, and you are good. And you are worthy of wonderful things. And you have come forth into the perfect environment at the perfect time, where contrast abounds to inspire within you fabulous new desires. And you know that those desires will be answered in the moment that they are identified. When you ask, it is given every single time, no exceptions. You are beloved, blessed beings who deserve good things. But it takes a self-convincing before you will allow good things. As we are moving forward here today, it is our desire to reacquaint you with your guidance system. We want you to remember that you are an extension of source energy. And we want the most important thing in every moment of every day for you to be awareness and maintenance of that connection. Because when you are aware and deliberately maintaining that connection, which is what we're talking about, allowing that connection. When you are maintaining, tending to that connection, you're thriving. You're clear-minded, you're joyous, you're healthy, you're sure-footed, you're confident, you're eager, you're passionate, you're in love with life. You are who you are. So when you feel frustrated or overwhelmed or afraid or angry or depressed, those emotions don't mean you're bad. They don't mean you're wrong. Those emotions mean you've practiced some thoughts for quite a long while and activated them often enough in your vibration that they become familiar. And now you have a belief or a dominant vibration that has enough divergent thought in it. And by that we mean different from who you really are and what you really know, that you got static in your vibration. So you're pinching off your connection to the well-being that is flowing to you that you just can't hear. It's like electricity flowing through the walls of your house, but if you don't plug into it, your toaster doesn't work. And if you don't find a way of connecting to the source energy that is flowing to you at all times in a predominant, dominant way, then you are doing less than thriving. And it is your intention and your legacy and your right to thrive. You knew when you came into these bodies that there would be plenty of things, plenty of variety, a smorgasbord on all topics for you to choose from. And you knew that you would be looking around and that you would be discerning your own personal preferences. But your plan was then, and still is, to look around until you figured out what it was you preferred, and then your plan was to give your undivided attention to what you prefer, because you understood that that's the way you train your vibrational alignment with what you prefer. And when you do that, it comes to you. Have you ever known someone who you knew was so wrong-headed, you knew that they were not based on what you thought was moral or appropriate behavior, and yet their life still continued to work, they still continued to win? You know why? They don't listen to the other side of the argument and mix up their vibration. They focus upon what they want. They hold themselves in alignment with that, what they want. They send only one signal about what they want, and the universe delivers to them what they want. And it doesn't matter how many others stand back and claim injustice, unfairness, foul play, inappropriate. The law of attraction always answers your vibration. And it doesn't have anything to do with what anybody else is doing or what anybody else thinks about what you're doing, unless you change your vibration because of what they think about what you're doing. That's why a variety of medical remedies can work differently on different people. That's why there's not one cure that always works. That's why a variety of religious intentions works for different people. There's not one truth or one religion that is appropriate. So it is your job as an extension of source energy to line up with that which you are an extension of. And you can tell by the way you feel how you're doing about that. So you have within you an emotional guidance system. Emotions that range all the way from passion and joy and appreciation, all the way to despair, all the way to depression. We want you to feel with us for just a moment that no matter what name you give or label you give these emotions, there is passion and appreciation and love and joy and knowing. There is believing. There is hoping to believe. There is optimism and there is pessimism. There is frustration and overwhelmment. There is discouragement. There is fear and there is anger. There is anger and there is fear. It depends upon what you're angry about, where it falls on the equation. But fear is a very deep resistance emotion. And then there is that feeling of despair or depression. And we want you to notice that as you move up or down this emotional scale, that on the end that feels wonderful is the knowledge of empowerment. That's where the perception of freedom is. And on the other end of the scale, where despair and fear and depression are, that's where there is a perception of absence or loss of freedom or empowerment. When you feel an emotion like fear, can't you feel that in that fear there is the perception of powerlessness? We really want you to notice that that's what emotions are about. You are empowered beings, but when you perceive that you have not power, then you begin to feel fear. And what happens to so many people is because they are not really aware of this emotional meter, and they are not aware that they can take an emotional journey in a matter of seconds or minutes and change their vibrational attitude and point of attraction, and therefore change what's manifesting in their experience, because so many people have forgotten that, don't remember that, or have taught themselves something very different from that as they have attempted to please others in this physical body. What begins to happen is that large segments of your population, which just means a lot of individuals who become mass consciousness, come to believe that the way they control the way they feel, which is important to every one of them no matter what they say, the way they control the way they feel is by trying to change the circumstances that affect them when they focus upon them. When you look at something that makes you feel good, you say, yeah, I'd vote for that. But when you look at something that makes you feel awful, you say, we've got to do something about that. We've got to get rid of that. We have to change that. We have to take that out of our society or get that off of the face of this earth. And what we're wanting you to remember as we're rampaging through this glorious day together is that you will never find your freedom through attempting to control the behavior of others, because you can't do it. You can't even control your wife. You can't control your kids. You couldn't control your parents when you were kids trying to control your parents. Teachers can't control their students. Employers can't control their employees. Wonderful man in a restaurant the other night, Jerry and Esther's favorite restaurant in this area, said, I have employees and 75% of them I adore and 25% of them I would like to kill. And he wasn't kidding. You cannot effectively shift the way you feel if you believe the way you feel is contingent upon the changing of some circumstance or condition outside of you. That's why so many masters and teachers have tried to remind you about unconditional love. Unconditional love means love without changing conditions. Unconditional love means staying connected to Source regardless of the conditions. And in the continuing connection to Source, then the conditions must acquiesce to the changed vibration. We can feel that through your trial and error, through your willingness to experience life, through your wanting to feel good, and through your constant seeking, that you have come to know these things that we are talking about. And now it's just a matter of practicing them until you not only know it about this, but you know it about that, and about that, and about that, until you come to know it about everything, until you are able to look at your own body, even if it has something that you don't want in it, and you're able to relax and say, this too shall pass. It can go out the same door it came in. It came in vibrational alignment to something that I was thinking before I was even aware I was thinking it. And now I have changed the rhythm of my thought, and now I'm reaching for thoughts that consistently feel good to me on a myriad of subjects. All things unwanted must leave, and all things wanted must come. It is law. It is not possible for you to want something that does not come into your experience if you are in vibrational alignment with what you want. We have enjoyed this interaction more than words can convey. You are serious, deliberate creators. And we can feel you determined to discover this vibrational art of allowing. We have never experienced a stronger awareness of reception of energy transmission. And what we mean by that is, as we convey to you in response to your powerful questions, both those spoken verbally from the microphone and those conveyed vibrationally or with thought, as we responded to that which you are asking, we could feel your level of allowing in an extremely receptive place. You are powerful creators, but friends, we all make much too much of this. Be easy about this and find something to feel good about and feel good about it. And watch your life begin to transform. There is great love here for you. We are complete.